എങ്ങുമെങ്ങും നിറയും വെളിച്ചമേ. Now, I would like to welcome our principal, Dr. Jojo Jones sir, for the welcome address.
Good morning, dignitaries on the dais and esteemed delegates of the International Conference. Warm welcome, one and all. Today we are just jumping into the third day, a very important day of the 3-day International Conference. And today happens to be a vital day for us because we are going to deliberate on different aspects of life skill implementation in the curriculum. And we will be thinking about UGC implementation of life skill education plan, and there is a discussion on yoga, and we do have a handful of discussions on different aspects and areas of life skill. For today's conference, we will be having the SCRT director, and he would be joining soon. Okay. In his absentia, I would like to welcome the SCRT director in the name of all the coordinators and all the esteemed resource persons of the day. Now today, we would be commencing the session with an introductory address of Professor Dr. Radhakrishnan sir, former registrar of Central University of Kerala. And he is going to give us a brief account of the two main aspects that we are going to discuss today. Radhakrishnan sir needs no introduction. He is the founding president of Indian Association of Life Skills Education, and this conference is a brainchild of Radhakrishnan sir only. Dearest Radhakrishnan sir, on behalf of the guests and all the delegates, I would like to welcome you, sir. Raghu sir, one of the senior most teacher educators and life skill trainers of India, who is having international reputation, is with us today. He is the head of the department of MED at Marthapulas Training College. Raghu sir, we are really happy that you are adorning the stage. Warm welcome to you, sir. So today we have got a guest of honor from Tamil Nadu, from Alagappa University, Professor Dr. Johnson sir. Actually, he is the head professor and head of the Department of Continuing Education, Alagappa University, a close friend of ours, and we have got MOU signed between Marthapulas Training College and Alagappa University. Now, I have great joy to welcome Dr. Johnson, who is really committed to the cause of education and life skills. Warm welcome to you, sir. Now we have got Mustafa sir, who is the president of Indian Association of Life Skills Education. Now he is the real coordinator of the program. With me, both of us are doing great work together. Mustafa sir, we are really happy that you are adorning the stage today, and warm welcome to you, sir. Dear friends, this conference is really international because of the participation of around 25 international delegates and resource persons. One among them is Resika ma'am from Sri Lanka. They have come as a team and they have contributed much for the success of this conference and for the pre-conference works as well. An outstanding person, outstanding teacher working in the field of life skills education, and she is very good at training people in emotional intelligence as well. Resika ma'am, warm welcome to you, ma'am. Now dear friends, all the delegates are adding value to this program through your deliberations. We do have plenty of people from outside different parts of India, some gems from Central University Kasaragod. I would like to extend all of you a warm welcome. Let us have beautiful deliberations today. Wishing you great times. Thank you.
Now, I welcome Reku sir to initiate the discussion.
Well, good morning to all. And the first session, we'll be focusing our thoughts on life skills in school education. Second part will be life skills in higher education, the UGC module and all. So, distinguished guests on the dais, participants from different countries and all, colleagues and friends. For the last 2 days, we have been focusing our thoughts on life skills, different aspects, its implementation, sharing of experiences, studies, research studies carried out, many papers were presented. So in another 2-3 days, we will be consolidating the report, which will with the participants in due course of time. Well, to start with, we are expecting the director of SCRT Kerala, who is responsible for managing the school education in our state. He will be joining shortly. And school education, which is supposed to be very important according to NEP 2020. As you know, there are 4 parts. First part is school education. Second part is higher education. Third is key areas like languages and other areas. And fourth is making it happen. That means how to implement it. So today we are focusing on school curriculum and we focus on how to implement it. That's a major focus. When you talk about school education, we have to think about 2 types of programs. First is pre-service education. That means formal courses like DLED, B.Ed, M.Ed and all. What type of content is included in these teacher development programs? That is part 1. Second area is teachers working in service. We call it in-service program. So what type of programs are to be developed for the teachers, those who are working in the system now, from primary to secondary and higher secondary. So a thorough capacity building program, quality enhancement program in the case of teachers. Otherwise, we will not be able to equip our students. It is through teachers that we reach the students. As you know, the present curriculum, the opinion of teachers, it is that curriculum is overloaded. At present, life skills education is not included in the school education system. So they have to teach languages, subjects, math, science, they are overloaded. Yesterday also when there were discussions, most of them were of opinion that teachers were the major hurdle in implementing the program. Actually, it is a way of looking at things. Lot of studies are available about the problems faced by school teachers. They have to complete the portion. Most of the school managements are evaluating the performance of the teachers based on the performance of the students, basically marks. So parents are focusing their thoughts, they are applying force on students to score better marks. For them, life skills is not in their agenda. So this is the way they are, looking at the issue. And we think about developing certain qualities among students. Recently, a study carried out by Kerala Police, that is, we have a wing called Student Police Cadet. We call it SPC, Student Police Cadet. Number of studies were carried out by the agency. Studies show that not less than 30% of the secondary boys and girls are directly or indirectly, in the area of drugs, alcoholism and all, directly and indirectly. The figure is not less than 30%. It is very, very alarming. That doesn't mean all of them are consuming drugs. Some are skillful agents working in the field to market it. Some are keeping the confidentiality of the program. Some are collecting money. Some are arranging the materials. So it is when the study shows, it is a well organized area. The police team was really shocked to see how things are being done. And it is not so easy to reach them because they are supported by a different mafia group. That is the report, highlighted in the police report. So these are some of the realities. I don't have much time to share all those things. So this is a school scenario. Most of the urban areas, it is a crucial issue. Recently the press, the visual media as well as print media, they have highlighted the realities. But who is bothered about it? This is another area to be discussed. How to incorporate the concept of life skills in the curriculum. And how to give a kind of experience sharing through different programs. It's not a question of writing the exam or putting it as a part of curriculum, writing the exam. No. It is more than that. How to make them aware about the danger, about the tragedy, how to support them, to strengthen them. These are some of the basic issues to be thought about. When academics are getting together, they talk about curriculum, they talk about the so-called methodology. Some of them talk about research. But what is the net result? A conference like this, a get-together like this, people with a lot of experience will have to think about how to attack the issue. The issue is very clear. Enemy is not visible very clearly. Identify the enemy, the strategies are to be developed, and to attack the issue. So this is a major focus. I don't take much of your time. So we are supposed to conclude by 11:10 because today afternoon by 2 o'clock we have to start the valedictory session. Central ministers are coming. We are also busy with that. So may I request the participants to focus their thoughts and be brief and concise so that we will be able to do justice to the topic and we will be able to complete within the limited time. Thank you very much for your patient listening. Now may I request Dr. Nair to share his thoughts.
Dear Professor Rakhu, Professor Mustafa, Dr. Johnson, Ms. Rasika, Dr. Joju John, and dear friends who has joined in this discussion. Today, we are discussing one of the very, very vital topic, especially for the teaching community. But unfortunately, even though we are conducting this program in a teacher education institute, those who are going to be the teachers of schools and colleges in years to come, I am not seeing many faces to discussing this very vital topic. We are just thinking how we can integrate life skills in our school curricula and what we can do to implement life skills education in higher education. These are the two major issues we are discussing at this point of time. Yeah. So friends, we have to look at, we all know what is the importance of life skills, so I am not going to talk about it, and our moderator has also highlighted that the importance of life skills. So I am not, on the issues which are affecting our children in our day-to-day life, the issues which are affecting them and how life skills can help them in overcoming that particular situation. So I am not going to touch upon that. I am just trying to highlight how we can integrate life skills in our curricula, especially while we are delivering the things to the children. If we want to integrate the thing, first we have to understand where we can do it. If we are going to try to integrate something without knowing where we can do it, how we can do it, we fail in our exercise. Not only in life skills or whatever you want to do. So first we have to know where we can do it, how we will do it, how we will identify which are the area where we can integrate the concepts of life skills in our delivery. So the first thing which we have to do is, we have to map our curricula. We have to map our curricula in such a way that the concepts of life skills can be delivered to the children. For example, I will tell you, for a teacher who is delivering mathematics, how the teacher delivering mathematics or teaching mathematics can, integrate the concepts of life skills into it. So in mathematics, what we are doing, most of the time we are doing problem solving. We are getting a problem of addition or subtraction or division or whatever it is. So one of the easiest way for teaching the children about critical thinking or creativity, problem solving, maths is one of the best way, especially most of the science classes. Maths, physics, chemistry. So these are possible. There are studies on the basis of that. How organic chemistry, how you can integrate life skills in organic chemistry. There are beautiful studies, experiential studies have come out on that. Due to the paucity of time, I am not going to take up each subject because it requires a detailed discussion. What I am trying to tell is, if you want to integrate life skills in our curricula, first we have to map our subject. We can make a broadsheet, you can take a Google Excel sheet, and one side you give the subject, in the top you give the core life skills which you want to transfer to the children. What you want to tell to the children, or what are the life skills which you want to do. You place your subjects, each chapter you place there. For example, if you are teaching history, if you are teaching our ancient history, you place that ancient history subject, the chapter name there, and then we have to see where we can give them self-awareness, where they can give empathy, where we can give interpersonal communication or interpersonal relationship, whatever skills. Then it will be easy for us to know where we can use it to teach the children. While discussing the subject itself, while teaching the subject itself, we can internalize the concept into the hearts of the children. Now, I would say this is what many of the education system in the West is doing. Even from the ICLSE onwards, elementary classes, primary, upper primary, high school, in every system, including higher education, these are the way they are. They will map the concept and then they will integrate the subject so that we can very effectively communicate the people. Because it is not possible to have a standalone life skills training or teaching to the people. It is very difficult. We don't have that much resources for us to give that. So that is why integration become very, very important. And then again, if you want to do it, if a lecturer or a teacher is going to deliver a lecture like what I am doing here, again is not going to possible. By by the teacher giving a lecture in front of the mic or with a PPT and giving the lecture on integrating life skills or transferring the knowledge of life skills to the people also, it is not going to happen at all. It will not happen. The experiences shows that transfer of the knowledge of life skills or the skills is possible only through experiencing it. If we are giving an opportunity to the people to experience it, then only it is possible. So as teachers, those teachers who are sitting here, you will know that student will understand better or internalize better. Knowledge, I am not talking about the knowledge. Internalize it better if you are giving an opportunity to experience it. So that is why nowadays the more thrust is given on experiential learning. So first we have to map the skills component in our syllabi, and then we have to see which are the area where we can integrate the concepts of life skills into it, and then we have to adopt the methodology of experiential learning to the methodology should be experiential learning so that we can transfer the concepts of life skills into the people. And in this workshop, that is the major focus which we are going to be discussed. How we can do it, how effectively we can do it. And now we are very happy that our SCRT director is here. And he is the person who is dealing with the curricula up to the higher secondary level in Kerala, or the SCRTs in across the country, or NCRT at the national level. The major focus, if we want to integrate our, or if we about how we will implement the UGC module of life skills education in our higher education system. Now we are all know that UGC has given an 8 credit module on life skills education, and they have developed the module and they have given to us to implement, and they have made it that it has to be mandatory in all the education institutions in the country. At the graduate level, this has to be done, this 8 credit module. And they have given the freedom to all the higher education institutions how they have to do it. That is the freedom of the institution. Whichever methodology they want, they can do it. There is no problem in adopting the methodology. Yesterday I am discussing with the professor of psychology in Calicut University, and she told they have developed, and she only has done the syllabi for life skills education to be introduced in Calicut University. There, the Department of Psychology has been authorized to implement life skills education in all the educational institutions under Calicut University. They are offering the course, and they will go and teach the students in all other institutions, and they are going to offer it as a mandatory program, but as elective. There are certain mandatory elective courses are there, open elective. That is how they are introducing. That means, in Kerala, one university has came forward like that. So this is very, very important. I will tell you, because the positive time I am not going look back into all the statistics of why it is important and all. But to implement it, the mechanism can be decided by the higher education institution, but it has to be done. There also lot of resources are required. Then UGC has given us a free hand. They have told us if an educational institution want, they can take the support of an NGO there, or an institution who is working in the field of life skills education. Their support can be taken and it can be implemented. There is no problem in adopting any methodology for implementing this system. Friends, I am stopping here now, and I wish that this discussion will give us some fruitful ideas, so that we can take it to the government as policy decisions or as a working paper. We have to take it forward, and especially in these two, how we are going to map and integrate life skills education in our school education system. When I say school education system, from ECCE onwards we have to take it. ECCE onwards to higher secondary, how we will map and integrate. Second, in higher education, how we can effectively implement the UGC module on life skills education. I wish you all the very best, and hope that some fruitful suggestions will come up so that we can take it forward. Thank you very much.
Well, friends, now I would like to extend a warm welcome to Dr. Jayaprakash, Director of SCRT Kerala. He is basically from the education community. He has a long experience in teaching, research and extension. He was working with the College of Teacher Education. He is basically an economist turned educationist. at present leading, guiding the SCRT Kerala, a dynamic, very active academician with rich experience in teaching and research. Now, what we lack in our system is, as per UGC concept, a higher education is supposed to play three basic roles. First is teaching, no doubt about it. Second is research. Studies at national level shows that the system is very weak in research. Recently, the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, which is well known to us because of their research background, that is ranked as the topmost, highest research, higher education institution doing research globally. So, Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore was able to overtake the so-called well-known universities abroad, like Princeton University, Stanford University, Oxford, Harvard, many universities. And Indian Institute of Science is top in the global list in the area of research. Why? Because their competence is proved in the field of research. So now the face of India is changing, and we have to, the new education policy, we are aware about it. We are focusing school education. We have different strategies to empower, and how to incorporate life skills in school education is something very important. International bodies like UNESCO, WHO, all of them are focusing on that. But what is happening in our country? Now I would like to request Dr. Jayprakash to share his thoughts as the director of SCRT Kerala. Welcome, Professor Jayprakash.
Good morning, all the participants. Respected academic group on the dais, and my dear participants. I'm very happy to be here. As most of my friends told me that I have to act as a moderator for a session. Now I am not a moderator. I am sharing with my thoughts on the life skills education and the ongoing process of the curriculum revision process in the state of Kerala. So this is I think I will conclude within 15 or? Okay, no problem. All of you know that in the country, after the introduction of the new National Education Policy 2020, all the state SCRTs, they are all in a busy schedule with preparing their own curriculum activities. Unlike the previous years, the National Education Policy and after that document, at the national level, the central government asked the state governments and the respective SCRTs to form their own respective state curriculum framework, mainly in 4 areas. The first one, that is in the area of early childhood care and education. We call it as the pre-primary education. And the second one is the school education, and third one is adult and continuing education, and also in the area of teacher education. In tune with these national norms, Kerala SCRT also formed different focus groups on different areas in 25, not 25, it is in 26 areas, and formed and written and the position purpose in different areas. And accordingly, we prepared 4 curriculum framework as per the national norms. Now we are preparing the textbooks according to the school curriculum framework. In this seminar, the topic of our discussion is how to integrate the life skills in our school education curricula. When we are talking about the life skills in a globalized world like this, we have so many restrictions and the challenges and the way forward to integrate the life skills in our curricula. We call it as, we can say it as syllabi. And the most of the skills which we have to develop in our students, that we mean that it is something called as the extracurricular or core curricular. In my personal view, there is no co-curricular activities. These are all part of curricular activities. But the academics, from the education background, we are all usually term this as a co-curricular activities. That is something, it is out of our classroom, out of our school compound. All these things are termed it as co-curricular. In my view, these are all curricular activities, not things like the extracurricular in this. My apprehension in this competitive world, are we able to integrate these life skills and to inculcate or to develop the same in our students with this present scenario? This is what I'm asking you a question like this. Because so many documents, when we're going through a recent document prepared by our CBSE, it is a brilliant document on 21st century skills. It's a brilliant document. And another document, it is the skills which are needed for our students in 2030 by OECD. It's another document. And also when we go through the document of UNICEF and UNESCO, you can see that all these things which are included in that document is one and the same. Some kind of slight changes, the wordings with all these documents. The CBSE document, when we go through that document, you can see that they have emphasized 3 L's: learning skills, literacy skills, and life skills. In my point of view, in this contemporary period, that the important skills which we need to our students, that is the literacy skills, which are mainly the information skills, media skills, and technology skills. Why? In 1970s, Nobel laureate in the field of economics, Herbert Simon, he predicted the outcome of information economy or the wealth of information. You please Google it and you will get the exact wording of Herbert Simon, what he told in the period of 1970s. His opinion was, we are predicting that, we are expecting that information is a wealth. It's a wealth of information. But at the same time, that wealth of information which leads to the poverty of attention. That he was predicted during the time of 1970s. Wealth of information in terms which leads to poverty of attention. Why? We are all living in a deluge of information. We can call it as a deluge. There is so many information. We are preparing the textbooks. That's only one tools for imparting the information to our students. Only one tool. But most of them, the common man or the general public, we consider it as the omnipotent or the last word of all kinds of knowledge and information. That is what our common man's knowledge about the curriculum revision and the syllabus revision and all. We are not blaming to them, but this is the knowledge of our knowledge. So in an information society, how we can segregate what is right and right or what is wrong? It's a deluge. What is the knowledge and what is information? So this information, access to information and a right kind of information, this is a prerequisite and basic condition to form a knowledge society, to become a knowledge economy. That is the keywords, two keywords, which are used as part of national curriculum, not National Education Policy 2020. You please read the vision of that document, which clearly states that to create a knowledge society, to create a vibrant knowledge economy. It's in that, the vision document of NEP 2020. So my apprehension here is, our total education, in our national education policy also, clearly stated about the outcome and competencies and learning objectives and all. But at the same time, the national education policy in its wordings clearly cautioned about how our entrance examinations are really harmful for our public education system in the country. This is wordings in NEP 2020. But just after the releasing of that document, the central government introduced CUET, another entrance examination, and also NEET, and also JEE, and also CLAT. And so many entrance examinations are going on in the country. So what happened to our children? The 2 months back, the Hindu magazine, Sunday magazine, they published an article with regard to the state of affairs that is going on in the Kota, Rajasthan. How many of you read about it? That article published in Hindu Sunday magazine. In that, the children are undergoing serious kinds of stress. Lakhs of children are enrolled in different institutions at Rajasthan Kota. It is famous for entrance examination and entrance examination business. So this entrance examinations has given a harmful stress to our students. It's a nearby temple in that entrance examination centers. That the picture of that temple, it is in the in that story. So many students visited their temple and written in the walls of that temple that, Mom and Dad, really sorry, maybe I'm a bad son of you. In this year, 23 to 25 students committed suicide there. It's happening. We are talking about the life skills. We are talking about the self-esteem, self-awareness. These are all the integral part of our life skills. We are talking about all these things. But the real practices going on in the field of our country is something different. It is frightening. I can say that, frightening. Nearly 20 lakh students, they are appearing for NEET examinations in the country. It is nearly MBBS seats are 1 lakh and all. What happened to 19 lakh students in the country? What happened to 16 more JEE aspirants? 16 lakh. We are talking about the life skills and the integration of life skills in the classroom and also through the curricular process, through the critical thinking, mainly the cognitive skills like critical thinking, problem solving, analytical skills and all. We are talking about what happened to our classroom activities. They are all approaching the entrance coaching centers to get a seat in any reputed medical colleges. We are all talking about self-esteem, IQ, EQ, intelligence quotient, emotional quotient, empathy, like all these kinds of life skills. I'm not going for the details of all these things. So, we the academics, mainly the people who are from the education background designed this education everywhere in the world, that education for a holistic development. The NEP also says like this for holistic, all-round development of a child. Now, it is clearly cut short, and now only one sentence we can say that education is merely a training to train a sets of skills, not the holistic. Not the holistic. Why? Because the education, the process itself is a serious threat from so many other agencies. And we can clearly say that, in my opinion, our education system, it was hijacked by the entrance mafias and corporates. In a recent study which reveals that in 28, our entrance industry in the country, which will grow by 1 lakh business industry in the country, 1,25,623 crore business in the country. This is what we are going to face. In these challenges, we are expecting something best and something good ideas from this kind of seminars and deliberations. For that purpose, we are doing all these things. How to integrate all these things? For this, in 2005 onwards, as part of the NCF 2005, that was a brilliant document prepared under the chairmanship of Yashpal and team, clearly stated about a classroom with constructivist pedagogy and critical thinking and critical pedagogy and all. What happened to after 2 decades? Now we are in 23. We have not get much more from that. Diluted. Everything goes on one way. So in this juncture, we want to inculcate the critical thinking. We want to inculcate the collaborative learning skills. We want to inculcate and to develop the communication skills and all to our students with the classroom interactions and also so many other activities outside our educational system. I am totally aware that the political and socio-political scenario in which I am speaking now, how to increase, how to inculcate the critical thinking, only through we need freedom of speech and expression. Freedom of speech and expression. How many of you can speak? How many of you can express yourself, your ideas without fear in these special circumstances? This is also a question. I can ask questions, but all of you cannot ask questions. This is the situation. So, in this freedom of speech and expression, that is also a basic need or a basic condition to develop a knowledge economy and a knowledge society in the country. I'm not going for the details. In the recent document published by the SCRT Kerala on the Kerala curriculum framework, which clearly focused on the life skills taken from different international agencies' documents, and we have to inculcate among our students through our curricular and co-curricular, not co-curricular, it is a curricular activities in the schools. And as a director of CRT Kerala, I can say that in our secondary education commission, it clearly states about the syllabi and curriculum, even the best curriculum and the most perfect syllabus remains dead unless it quickened into the life of the students by the right kind of teachers and best method of teaching. So even a best curriculum, that will be a futile exercise unless it quickened into the life of the students through the right method of teaching and best way of doing it in the classroom and in our school premises. And with these words, I conclude. And in the 21st century skills, we are in the running or we are in a track of attaining our sustainable development goals prepared in 2015 by the end of 2030 by so many educational activities in the country, and also the skills which we need to face the future challenges in the country and the world. That is one and only creativity, creative thinking, and through the creative classrooms. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Dr. Jayaprakash, Director of SCRT, for your participation. And he has clearly analyzed the current educational scenario with a special focus on life skills education. I learned from his words. It was the experience of a real practitioner who is totally involved in the process and program. Thank you very much once again for your dynamic analysis. Now may I request Professor Mustafa to share, because he will have to play a dual role. So I would like to request him to share his thoughts on life skills curriculum.
Most respected moderator, Professor Regu sir, and respected and beloved, the Director of State Council of Educational Research and Training, Trivandrum, Dr. Jayaprakash, my good friend, Professor Johnson, and your name is Rasika, Rasika from Sri Lanka, and my respectful teachers and the activists and learners of higher education, teacher education, a warm good morning to one and all. So there are a lot of documents available related to life skills and life skills education. And we are talking a lot about the need and necessity for integrating life skills education. But integration is not happening. So I will not concentrate on, I'll be coming with another tool after some 30-35 minutes here to map the higher education, that UGC curriculum framework, Jeevan Kaushal 2.0 with you. So I thought to have my reflection on this as a plenary speaker on this session at this juncture. I will not take much time. So what happens that in Indian system of, I quote the very old but relevant Secondary Education Commission report. Secondary Education Commission report starts stating that secondary education is the weakest in Indian education system. So after this statement is made, a lot of to A. Lakshmanaswamy Mudaliyar, the then Vice Chancellor of Madras University. And he clearly sorted out and told, because a student, an individual, after rigorous 12 years of formal training, formal school training, is not able to fulfill, at least in a rudimentary manner, the skills that are required for living as a citizen of the country. So there lies the conceptualization of life skills. Ours is a country where we trusted and honored the knowledge culture. That is the reason why in the at the end of the Ramayana war, Ravana got down and killed by Rama, but Rama, the great, see what is that? The spirit. He advises his brother Lakshmana Oh, my brother, go there and take as much as knowledge, what you wish to take. So, Lakshmana, like me and all. So, it is a little bit, materially about. Reacted to the brother's thought. Why? He is the embodiment of all kind of cruelty and all that things. But Rama advises Lakshmana, knowledge is divine. See, in your lifetime, wherever you have knowledge, you take it. So in such a culture, where the individual is being nurtured and prompted, probed and developed in a very, very perfect, purified manner, what happened to the system of education in a prolonged way of our life? And glorifies that things and this is what is happening in the case of curricular reformation of school education also. And as a result of that, the child is not able to become a competent individual even after 12 years of thorough, formal, rigorous training. So now we are all two persons as far as the teacher educators are concerned. Two persons are highly, very, very heroes. One is Howard Gardner and the other one is Vygotskian. And I'm not at all a person to even talk about this great men's work who had contributed within their short lifespan of living they had in this world. But in a system where, as Sir told, where information, where media, and where life competencies and the living aspirations as a result of the encroachment and intertwining of multinational companies and economic system, whether these competencies are enough or this paradigm is enough is to be asked while in the integration process. There comes the relevance of a conceptualization named learning intelligence. And where, if you go through the highly economic viable countries of the globe, you can see that there had concerted effort by the policy makers to integrate localization along with the globalization. But somehow, our country and in the presence of the director, sir, our education system failed to incorporate localization. Localization is not a system where you are withdrawing the upward movement of the country and global tenets and tendencies of the education. But it is giving adequate provision for the identities of the learner. The identities of the learner as visualized by the National Curriculum Framework of 2005. The learning process, the content and the articulation, everything should be in a environmental and historical validation process must be, and cultural validation must be therein. We are talking about this, but system is failing. So therefore, an urgent need is there so as to map the curriculum, identifying the competencies required in the post-globalized neoliberal economy, where the learner is living. The learner is living with all these tools and techniques. And the learner is expecting a transformation in terms of the abilities. When the learner is fit into a job or a labor organization, whether these competencies or skills are good enough. I recollect the speech from this conference of the speech of a script of Dr. Achyut Shankar. And he, in a very romantic way, he romanticized the style, the change happened in the way of writing leave letter of students. And so writing love letter to lovers. Now see the leave letter of an email requesting the leave letter to head of the department so as to assimilate the meaning of this, the individual, the HOD has to refer to ChatGPT or depend on somebody else. So such is the way, quick way it is done. So life skills, simply putting, I have the strong opinion, I am very proud to say and with gratitude to Almighty say that Central University of Kerala is the only university where life skill is introduced as an academic program across the country through the postgraduate diploma in life skills education program. And being the instrumental facilitator of that program for the time being, I would like to say that the old tools and techniques of imparting life skills with some modules coming here and engaging the learner with some activities and all will be futile attempt. That anybody can do in the current world where a laptop is enough and a projector is sufficient to equip that. So therefore, the learner should be put in the pivotal position and the central axiom, and the learner's complexities and aspirations to be mapped in parallel with, in complementary with the chronological development of the individual, and such subsets are to be identified, and it is not to be evaluated. When it comes to evaluation part, so sir, few more minutes. When it comes to evaluation part, life is going, life skill is going, everything is going. This is enough. You practice, see 5 essay questions, then 5 mark questions, and 5 2-mark questions, and our favorite word will be explain, or if little bit clever, see the professors like I used to do illustrate. But the same thing is that explanation is with an example is illustrate. So here it is the problem. For a child, the grade, the card is very important. Because we can talk about evaluation, we can talk about no need of evaluation, etc. after procuring and enrolling into Central University system or any other professional card. But as far as an individual is concerned, so here is the accountability and sensitiveness of the teachers to respond along with this mapping process. There should be a rigorous reformation in the evaluation process. The evaluation should make life centered, not life oriented. Life should be put in the pivotal position of evaluation. I salute one teacher of Chinmaya Vidyalaya Kasaragod because with this anecdote I will stop here. So because usually she used to, my daughter used to at the 3rd standard, she used to tell, Papa, I got this card, this grade, this card, etc. So being a psychology, so-called psychology man, no, let the child moves according to his own way. That is our parenting style. So it saves some time also as far as we are concerned. So as to justify that we are using psychology for that parenting aspect. So, but congratulations, we give positive reinforcement. No, she knows psychology. Don't apply psychology to me. Then you read it. You go see it. And 25 out of 25 for an English English assessment, examination. So I start, okay, congratulations, you are the best one. I told, no, Papa, you read this, then tell. So she forced me to read it at third standard. Then I started. So one essay is there, my favorite food item. This is the essay. And she described about the pizza. And in a very beautiful manner, at the third standard, she is in her own style. Her own style, she is describing about the third standard, this pizza. Pizza is a beautiful then, and myself, my brother like most. My mother also like it, but my father, not having the habit of taking pizza, but he gives a positive note for all these kind of things. While traveling to Ponnani, Maranjeri from Kasaragod, we take a rest at Calicut. Then there is a Domino's pizza at Mavur, nearby Mavur, and we order regular pizza. And my brother finishes his turn and request from my turn. And little bit of hesitation, I used to give him. It is not because I don't like pizza, but it because I love my brother more than pizza. So it is, I was embraced by not this girl's narration, but I was really embraced by the teacher who took half mark, for this essay. Out of the 5, took half mark for this essay, adding half more mark and underlying it put in a red round, give full mark. This is a simple example for integration. And the level of this example, the level of this process will be varying from the simple to complexities as and. So friends, life skills are very simple and life skills are complicated also. Assimilate that being the prospective teachers and identify the capacities and competencies, map the entire thing in the curriculum designing, curriculum articulation, as well as curriculum evaluation. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Professor Mustafa, for sharing his experiences related to life skills in higher education. As a person involved in the field, I think some 2-3 months back, there was a program at Central University of Kerala, where not less than half a dozen vice chancellors, experts, professionals, all of them participated. One of the items was life skills. Thorough discussions were organized at that point of time. So he has shared some of his experiences from that conference. Well, so thank you, Professor Mustafa, for your words. Now, we would like to listen to a Sri Lankan experience by Resika Manohari from Sri Lanka. She is working in the field of life skills. She is specialized in psychology, and we would like to listen to her. Welcome, Resika.
So can I go to that side? Okay, you keep it. Yes, that's good. Yes, with the presentation. Yes. Mic, can I get the mic to my hand? What is that? Listen, can I take the mic to my hand? Yeah. Hello. Good morning, everybody. I know somebody can't see me, but everybody can hear me, right? Yes. I'm Rasika Manohari, consultant in professional psychological counseling in a university in Sri Lanka, and a senior psychotherapist, and representing emotional intelligence and life skill training team in Sri Lanka. I'm going to talk about integrating and mapping life skills in schools and higher education curriculum, as all the guest has talked about this. The lovely speeches we have already here. Actually, this is not a topic that we have to talk only this kind of a forum. It is a huge topic, huge scenario, which takes more than 1 week to discuss arguments, and in like a workshop in a one place, right? So by now we already know what are the life skills, so I am not going to talk about it, WHO and UNICEF definitions. If I go to the Sri Lankan context, Sri Lankan education system, it's go for a very long history. We have more than 3,000 years back written history and more than 25,000 unwritten history belongs to Sri Lanka. Actually, in unwritten history like India, the Brahmins has from mouth to mouth memorizing, they have got all their sutra and all the bhajan and everything to generation and generation. Likewise, in Sri Lanka, also in Buddhism, we all got that memorizing unwritten history. Actually, current literacy rate in Sri Lanka is 95%. As in Kerala, I think it is very similar. Education categories are very similar to Kerala system. We have pre-primary category age 4 to 5, primary category is grade 1 to 5, junior, its secondary stage is divided to junior and senior. Junior belongs to grade 6 to 9, senior belongs to grade 10 and 11, and the collegiate, which selected for the university level, it's grade 12 and 13. Actually, the importance of the life skills is identified by the WHO in 1993. Then after that, UNICEF, UNESCO, they have involved with several development programs to implement the life skills into our curriculum. In Sri Lanka, the life skills education was incorporated in 1997. But though it is incorporated, still there is a gap between the curriculum and the life skill development in the curriculum. Life skill development curriculum and their skills between the matching and the gap is available. So it is, though it is incorporated like a theory part, it is not a practical session. It was like in my school age, I got the life skills subject, but it was with the cookery learnings, sewing learnings, all those included there. But we didn't know that we are learning about the life skills. We just learned about cooking. Of course, it is very interesting period, but it was called the life skills subject. But after that, after later, a few years back, the civic education was included to the subject, but in that subject, interpersonal skill development is added to the subject as a life skill. I think we already got to know about the importance of the life skills to the children and the youth by now. But I would like to say it is not, life skill is not just something to share the information. It is a development of skills. It is not a theory. It is kind of a practical, we got to know about and practice by insight. As we know, it's really helpful to the adolescents to successfully transit from their childhood to adulthood. So they need it. Otherwise, it is not matching their school age or the school to the real society. I have experience as a university psychological counselor a lot like that. The students who come from the school to university, they are unable to face that. Even it is not the real community, they are unable to face that community. So the life skill is really help to assess the pros and cons of the situation, or the life skill developed person can be act like a mediator to solve the problem or change the problem to the positive behavior. Of course, it is really helpful to the youth to face the future world. So if we go to rethink the curriculum, of course it is needed to think once and twice and again to rethink about the curriculum. It is needed to approach the holistic approach in Sri Lanka also. So integrating life skills to the real world experience. We have to rethink about the learning conception, that learning conception should be like a joyful activity. As my experience, it is now very heavy, unhappy, something to the children. They are just thinking, why do we have to do this? Why I have born to learn like this? To carry a big hold of books and go to the school, and it is not an enjoyable place. So it is not a joyful activity to them sometimes. So authentic activities and the experience should be added. The collaborative learning, active education and exploration, expanding the learning environments should be added if we think about the curriculum again. It is time to rethink school culture and the community relations. When the school is something else and the community is something else, how can be a child come to the normal society? How can he accept the normal society? How can he live successfully in the normal society if the school environment is something different and the real world is something different? So it is needed to be school-centered learning community. The community must be in the school also. They should feel it's a part of the outside world. School is something, a part of the outside world. But now it is not experienced like that. So it is needed to emphasize the authentic learning. I have here shown the traditional and authentic learning separated categories. So it should be added the various learning organizations, they should engage with the various learning organizations, and of course teachers should be facilitators of the exploration. They should not be just teachers. By now in Sri Lanka, I have experienced teachers don't know they doesn't have the time to tell or share their experience to the children. They just have to follow the syllabus. It's that much heavy. So they are running with the syllabus, the curriculum. They don't have time to share the outward experience or discuss with the children the authentic experiences. So they have no time to facilitate. So it's something we have to rethink. Collaboration between school and community must be needed if we rethink about this. We got to rethink about the roles, goals, and the subject content again. Developing school subjects and learning outcomes should be like sustainable development learning goals, there must be, and life skills for family and community health, healthy hygiene and cultural value enhancement must be there. Development and ability to live in a sustainable way, adding by the sustainable development and as a learning goal. Develop life skills to sustain as a member of a happy family member. Healthy habits, personal hygiene, food secure practices, healthy religious practices. I must say here, healthy religious practices, where the children should understand there are some cult religious practices also. That is unhealthy and they are caught by some cults and which makes them unhappy and so damages to the societies. So they should understand the healthy religious practices, cultural values and skills to be enhanced through collaboration among school, home and community to wider the world learning. When it's come to mapping, curriculum mapping for life skills integration, of course we have to think where to map, when to map, and how to map. What kind of tools are needed. So when we go with the normal regular subjects also, we can add that. Of course, we have the literacy and numeracy subjects. The literacy includes an individual's ability to remember, understand, identify, interpret, evaluate, and creative skills and communicating information and communicating skills develop through the literacy. Of course, the numeracy, it develops children's critical thinking, analytical thinking, problem solving. Science that was limited to the academic area for many centuries, but it is not no longer limited concept like academic something. It is something to think about critically. scientific process and concept. It is really needed to everyday life. So science, something that gives, think about the reality and the myths. So children are able to understand what is reality, what is the truth, what is the myth. So it develops the critical thinking of the children. If we talk about the strategies should be added to implement this, to mapping this. So training professionals, development for teachers is needed, and they should be the facilitators and share their experience. Explorations must be added. So curriculum alignment and adaptation, where to adapt, how to align, must be there. And in my experience, it took more than 20 years to align drug prevention to the school curriculum in Sri Lanka, in the Ministry of Education. So I have got the experience the most difficult. So they are not flexible to change. If they are not flexible to change, how can we adopt the integration of that? We can't go further monitoring this, evaluating. We got to know where we are going. So if I talk about the university level, as my knowledge, in university there is no life skill separate subject, but there are so many extracurricular activities them to develop their life skills like aesthetics things, sports and so many things. But when we come, it is as a subject, compulsory subject, it is just like again the theory. It is something to get the marks and pass it. It's only the knowledge, not the practical side. But if it is not the compulsory subject, but it is there, but some schools, some universities can avoid it and just let go. It is not something to be done, so it is okay to not to do it. So there is a gap thinking about this also. The attitude of this is little bit changes, differences are there with the educators. So it is something to rethink again. Whether the curriculum, when we add the life skills to curriculum, is this going to be a subject or parallelly go or the both? So however, I think the educators have to understand this mostly, firstly, and then of course I think when we are talking about the integrating and mapping this, only the education specialists or the educators are here around the table. But there must be the youth, children, to get their ideas also. What they really need from the school, what they really need from the university, what are their expectations to adding these things. I think we have to add that part also. So I'm going to finish. Thank you for listening this.
Rasika Manohari for presenting the thoughts in a systematic fashion with the help of visuals. Thank you very much for your active involvement. Now may I request Dr. Johnson from Alagappa University to share his thoughts.
Very good afternoon to one and all present here. At this juncture, we are very much happy to be a part and parcel of this Life Skill Education Conference, which is being hosted by the Life Skill Education Institute and Martyr Plus Training College. My profound gratitude to Radhakrishnan Nair, who has been a key motivator for all of us in taking the life skill education to leaps and bounds over. Therefore, my profound gratitude to him, and I also my thanks and gratitude to Mustafa sir, who has been a cogwheel in making this conference, moving over to lamp and post over to make it an effective process over. Next, I would also like to thank Dr. Jay Prakash, who is a good friend of mine, sharing the dais 2017. Back after 7 years, the same dais we have been sharing over. Thank you. And I also welcome Jay Prakash sir at this moment. And I also take my profound thanks to the principal of this institution, Joju John sir, who has been a key motivator and instrumental for all of us. Thank you, sir. And I also thank Raghu sir and all the faculty members of Martyr Plus Training College and all the team members who are being associated with this international conference. Today, the scenario of life skill education. In the morning, we have been discussing upon the main cog wheel of how this life skill education has to be integrated over in the school curriculum. We all know, as the teaching fraternity or the students of different age group, we knew that the life skill education is 2020 is mainly stressing on this. Emphasis is given more over on this life skill education. But still on the practical aspect of how to integrate, that is a million-dollar question that is before us. Therefore, this conference and deliberation, all the focus group discussion, panel discussion, will pay a long way for the policy decision making. Because a month before we had a discussion over in NCRT campus of how to integrate the life skill education over for adult learners, adult and continuing education. As Jay Prakash sir has rightly pointed out over, see, this life skill education has been concentrated not only on the school education, but also on the vocational part and also on the adult learners of how to make over, of how to integrate them, of how to make the peoples are lifelong learners, of how to emphasize them to move over and be acclimatization over to the living with the environment in a peaceful way. That is what the main crux of this. And the last month in NCRT, this discussion was going on for policy decision making. The UGC as well as the NCRT, which is having a center for CNCL, CN Center for imparting the life skill training among the adult learners. And how to make this as a policy decision making. That was a thing over which have been discussed over in all the 5 days of the workshop, and I have been associated in the panel as a member of that. In drafting of the guidelines for the life skill education in teacher education, life skills integration in school education, as well as in adult and continuing education. Therefore, they come out with a decisive, and they came out with all the decision that the UGC has given a clear-cut things that the students have to be involved over in imparting life skills to all the learners, the neo-literates or illiterate peoples. It is the necessity, bounded work of the students as well as the public at large to make the neighborhood, to make the community peoples to get educated. But on comparing, on speaking on this life skill education, it is not a one which has culminated only some 2 centuries back. It is already integrated, everything. But people in the curriculum, it has been a part and parcel of that. Whereas when we are going to discuss over in school education, the life skills are already integrated in the school education, but they doesn't know what is that. That is what. But now we are speaking as an exclusive subject, life skill education. Then what people think, oh, this is might be a different subject of making the students, making the learners, making the teaching fraternity, making the academicians, making the peoples at large to be known of this life skill concept and imparting this life skill concept to each and every nook and corners of the life, especially the humankind. The general motive of this life skill education is to live an harmonious situation, is to help one another and to make a situation which is amicable for us to live over in this society, helping one another. This type of tendency should be inborn. In the morning session, while Mustafa sir was delivering his lecture, he said over about a talk, he was telling how we should have an empathy towards others, how we need to develop all those skills. All the skills are being there over, as I said before. How we need to, over, a rejuvenation part is needed actually. All the skills which has been said over as a life skill concept, critical thinking, it might be creative thinking, or in problem solving skills, all which is much needed over in school education curriculum. We do agree as an academician, as a teaching fraternity, we do agree over these skills are most essential for the school education, not only for school education but also for higher education, and also across all the domains of learning. But how we are making the students, making the practitioners, making the consultant in life skill trainers. Many people are life skill trainers have come over from Sri Lanka, from Nepal. Therefore, these peoples have become a trainer over in life skill concept. How they have, what made them to choose this domain of learning, and whether these peoples are able to serve the community at large, for which they have been inclined to. These are all the things which we need to once again revitalize, and also we have to rethink about what is actually in the ground root level, grassroots level, as well as the ground level, what is happening in life skill education. This life skill education, how we need to strengthen over for, especially in the school education, because in the morning session we have been discussing all the academicians who have said over their thoughts of how to make life skill education more vigor and trigger. When Jayaprakash sir I was having a word with him, he said see, students are more pushed over into the addiction of drug. Not only addiction of drug, but also another thing, they are not able to balance their life. They are not able to take the success as well as the failure. They need to consider it as an event, success and failure. But what happens now in today's generation, they are very much, over-tensed. They are not able to balance their life. Even if they fail in the competitive exam, even if they fail in the examination slip test, whatever examination they need to take up, they don't have the kind of tendency that they will come up once again. That failure is a part and parcel of the life. That is an event which is occurring. First, FAIL, that is the first attempt in learning, they need to consider over. First attempt in learning. All those things who need to save over, whether the subject teachers will take upon the responsibilities, or the teachers, those who are taking the science discipline, whoever teaches, whatever discipline they come upon, how they need to strengthen the students, how they need to take the way of helping the students to adjust with the environment, to adjust with the competitive world that we are having over. The media world, how it is exploration of knowledge society we speak of, the technology is moving over, the technological revolution has taken over, the new media communication has taken over the life of each and every individual, not only the students but also from all the sectors of the people. Therefore, in spite of all the technological evolution, in spite of the usage of the new media, how the students are to go over, how they need to have a focus in the studies, how they need to have a diversification. They need to have a diversification in the study process, in the teaching learning process, in the way they think about, in the way they need to carry their life about. One thing I would like to highlight in this point over is that when Mustafa sir was giving about the people's idea that University of Madras, the Vice Chancellor, he was very much alarmed about that. Though the students are completing or finishing their studies over after 12 years of schooling, still they are not able to face the situation outside world. They are not able to take up the situation. When they push onto the real world, they are not able to adjust with the environment. They are not able to see the world and move about the world. That is the thing which is taking over, which is making the students in distressed position, which is making them to go over to the end their life over. For small reasons, for petty reasons for which the students are in a furious state. In this parental situation, nowadays to bring about the students, to bring about their own words is very difficult to over. It is not only difficult for the teachers, but also for the parents. They don't yield to what the teachers or parents are saying. They are in their own world of enjoyment with the technology. Therefore, to come out of this technology, it is becoming a very, very difficult task. How are we going to address those situations? How are we going to help them out? Because they are our wards. As a teacher, each and every student are our wards. As a parent, we need to look after our children to make them to live in a world which is full of chaos, but still they have to lead a life with positivity. How this life skill education is going to strengthen over in school curriculum. For that, we need to have a concept mapping, and this concept mapping, all of a sudden, it will not be integrated into the curriculum. After a panel, after the studious discussion of how to make it over, as a trial and error method, we need to take up over, and after this trial and error method is taken over, then automatically this life skill education will be integrated into the school education as well as into the higher education curriculum with proper tuning, and then we will be able to get the fruitfulness, the outcomes of the life skill education. Now different life skill education centers are being created over to address the students, to address the lifelong learners over, to rejuvenate them, to make them that we are there with you, we are there as a facilitator to you, therefore don't worry, be happy, lead your life with a positive approach. Whatever venture you do over, that is the thing which we need to address over, even in school education curriculum, even in higher education curriculum. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you once again.
Johnson for sharing thoughts on the topic. Now we are coming to the last lap of the program, and may I request for vote of thanks.
Thank you so much to all the delegates who have given much insightful thoughts and valuable knowledge. Thank you, sir. Now, it's time to give away the mementos to our delegates. With most respect, I call upon Reku sir to hand over the mementos to the delegates. I request Reku sir to hand over the memento to Professor Jayaprakash R.K. I request Reku sir to hand over the memento to Dr. N. Johnson sir. I request Reku sir to hand over the memento to Ms. W. Rasika Manohari. Thank you so much to all the delegates. Now I call upon Reshma for proposing the vote of thanks.
So before that, may I just ask one thing? I won't take much of your time.
Yeah, you want to raise some questions?
Yeah.
Please.
I mean, to all the dignitaries on the dais, I just want to raise one thing. Not as an educator, as a parent. What I feel is, even as an educator and as a parent, that prestigious school in West Bengal, okay, we didn't carry huge bags to school. But there was an adjoining school which was very famous. They carried huge bags. So for the parents,
national education policy, 25, along with some other dimensions, 25 components were included. And in generalizing this conceptualization of the significance of parental education, one more dimension is added in Kerala curriculum framework, the 26th dimension, parental education. And his ambition is that every school will have, in due course of time, a parental resource center also. So what you told is absolutely correct. See, without sensitizing, orienting parents, all these efforts will not be accomplished in a true manner.
Again, it shouldn't be politicized because PTA, head of PTAs belongs to some, I mean, I've seen it in the local PTA meeting. You come to the PTA meeting, but no, you have to vote for me. Please, that crap should be the best. Whoever is interested in their children's growth should be made the head. Please, this is my humble suggestion.
Good morning, one and all present here. I am here before you to propose the vote of thanks. As we all know, it was an informative and excellent session. Let me take this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude to Professor Jayaprakash R.K., Director, State Council of Educational Research and Training, for taking time in the busy schedules to grace this occasion with his presence and wonderful words. Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to thank Professor Dr. M.N. Muhammad Unni alias Mustafa Sir, Professor and Head Department of Education Director, for your valuable insights. Thank you, sir. Now I express my heartfelt thanks to Ms. Rasika Manohari, Consultant Trainer, Emotional Intelligence and Life Skill Training Team, Sri Lanka, for sharing your expertise and knowledge. Thank you, ma'am. Now I express my thanks to Dr. N. Johnson, sir, Head of Department of Lifelong Learning, Alagappa University, for enriching us with his valuable thoughts and diverse perspectives. Thank you, sir. Now I thank Dr. A. Radhakrishnan Nair, sir, Founder President, ICLSE, for sharing your valuable thoughts. Thank you, sir. Next, I express my gratitude to our Professor Dr. V. Raghu, sir, our moderator and head of our MA department, Theophilus Training College, for his constant support. Thank you, sir. Now, with great happiness, I express my sincere thanks to our dearest principal, Dr. Joju Jones, sir, for organizing such an event and giving us the most eminent dignitarians. Thank you, sir. Last but not the least, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the attendees, guests, delegates, sponsors, and organizers for making this a resounding success. Thank you all for being a vital part of this insightful and inspiring event. Once again, thank you all.
So with this, we are winding up the session. Now you will be having 5 minutes tea break. After that, all are requested to assemble back to the auditorium for the next session. Thank you.
most respected dignitaries on and off the dais, good morning to all. Today, on the final day of 9th International Conference on Life Skill Education, we have gathered here for an exciting and informative focus group discussion session. Today's session revolves around the topic Life Skills in Teacher Education, which help us to gather diverse perspectives, insights, and experiences from each of you. As we commence this special session, for the blessings of Almighty, I invite Dean to invocate the session.
എന്നുമെന്നിൽ തെളിയും വെളിച്ചമേ എൻ മനസ്സിൽ നീ ശാന്തിയായിരിക്കുവാൻ എന്നുമെന്നിൽ കൃപ ചൊരിയണമേ എന്നുമെന്നിൽ തെളിയും വെളിച്ചമേ പൂവിലൂറുന്ന പുഞ്ചിരി നീയല്ലോ പുസ്തകം തരും ജ്ഞാനവും നീയല്ലോ പൂവിലൂറുന്ന പുഞ്ചിരി നീയല്ലോ പുസ്തകം തരും ജ്ഞാനവും നീയല്ലോ പുല്ലുമാടവും പൂമണിമേടയും തുല്യമായി തരും ശക്തിയും നീയല്ലോ പുല്ലുമാടവും പൂമണിമേടയും തുല്യമായി തരും ശക്തിയും നീയല്ലോ എന്നുമെന്നും നിറയും വെളിച്ചമേ എൻ മനസ്സിൽ നീ ശാന്തിയാകണമേ എൻ്റെ പാദം ഇടറാതിരിക്കുവാൻ എന്നുമെന്നിൽ കൃപ ചൊരിയണമേ.
Now I invite Alina for welcome speech and introducing the dignitaries.
Educators are not merely transmitters of information. They are architects of life skill, constructing a foundation upon which students can construct their future. Good morning, one and all present here, respected dignitaries, on and off the dais, delegates and participants. As a part of 9th International Conference of Life Skills Education, ICLSE 2024, we are gathered here to explore and experience the importance of life skills in teacher education system. In teacher education, life skills play a crucial role in preparing educators to navigate the complexities of the classroom. These skills encompass effective communication, adaptability, and problem solving, enabling teachers to connect with diverse students and address various learning needs. The life skills empower educators to foster a positive and inclusive classroom environment, promoting social and economical, emotional well-being. I am so thrilled to see such a diverse group of individuals from different backgrounds who share a common interest in this topic. Our speakers have intrinsic experience and will provide valuable insights to understand the role of life skills in teacher education system. First of all, I would like to welcome the moderator of the session, Professor Dr. V. Raghu Sir, Director of ML Department, Theophilus Training College, who is a former Dean and Controller of Examination, RGNIYD, Government of India. Welcome you, sir. Next, I would like to welcome Dr. Chandrasekhar Praveen sir, Faculty of IGEP, NIT Calicut. As a part of MTTC and IALSE, I extend a warm welcome to you, sir. Now, I would like to welcome Dr. N. Johnson sir, who is the Head of Department of Lifelong Learning, Algappa University, Karaikudi, Tamil Nadu. As a part of MTTC and IALSE, I extend a hearty welcome to you, sir. Next, I would like to welcome Dr. Pramodinagar sir, Joint Secretary of CTEF Kerala, Head of School of EGCS, Chinmaya Vishwavidyapith, Ernakulam, Kerala. As a part of MTTC and IALSE, I extend my hearty welcome to you, sir. Next, we have Ms. Niroshika Karudenia, ma'am, who is a preschool teacher and counselor of Emotional Intelligence and Life Skill Training Team Sri Lanka. As a part of MTTC and ICLSE, I extend a warm welcome to you, ma'am. I would like to welcome all the teachers, non-teaching staffs, delegate, participants and students who are the soul and spirit of this seminar. Welcome you all to this focus group discussion and thank you.
Thank you, Elena. Now, I am officially handing over the mic to the moderator of the session, our dear Professor Dr. Raghu Sir, MD, Department Director, Theophilus Training College. Sir.
Good morning to all. We are coming to the final session of the program. We are supposed to complete the session by 1 p.m. sharp because we start the valedictory by 2 p.m. Central Minister is the chief guest, so we have to keep the time. Well, the focus of the present program is life skills in teacher education system. What is happening in the field of teacher education? That is area number 1. Number 2, how to incorporate life skills education within the system. That is a basic issue that we are going to share now. When you talk about teacher education, usually we think about pre-service teacher education. Maybe diploma, maybe bachelor's, master's and all. It is reported that every year, not less than 17.5 lakh qualified teachers are produced in our country. This is I am quoting former director of NCTE. He organized a conference in Delhi in which I was a part. There they declared every year we are producing approximately 17.5 lakh teachers in India. And how many are accommodated? Roughly 3 lakhs will be accommodated. What about the rest? Nobody has given any answer. That is one side of the coin. Now coming to the quality of the program. Now we are very seriously thinking about improving the quality of teacher education throughout the country. All over the world. That is a focus. When you think about SDG, Sustainable Development Goal, item number 4 is quality education, which is applicable to all types of education. And teacher education, of course, is a professional education program. We started with 1 year. Then it was switched over to 2-year program. Now there is drastic change. As per NCT norms and all, we are going to implement integrated teacher education program. What does it mean by integrated? We have 2 faculty members who will be focusing their thoughts on ITEP. So there is a galaxy of, academicians to share thoughts. Dr. Chandrasekhar Praveen, at present, he was working with the College of Teacher Education in Kerala. Now he is working with ITEP of NIT Calicut. He will be sharing thoughts related to ITEP. Another person from the field of ITEP is Dr. Pramod Dinakar. He is the head of education from Chinmaya University, Kochi. These 2 agencies have already started teacher education program, the ITEP, Integrated Teacher Education Program, in the concerned universities. I think they will have many things to share. Now we have Dr. Johnson, Head of Lifelong Learning from Alagappa University, Tamil Nadu. He is familiar with teacher education. He will be sharing thoughts on teacher education in the context of Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is known for teacher education, university and all. One of the leading universities in the field of teacher education. He is also collaborating with that and he will have definitely many points to share. Then we have Niroshika from Sri Lanka. She has shared her thoughts yesterday. Today also she is a part of our program. She is a trainer in emotional intelligence and she is a preschool teacher. She will have her own points from Sri Lanka to share with us. Now it is 11:53 in my watch. We are supposed to conclude by 1 p.m. sharp. So may I request my colleagues on the dais to limit their presentation, maybe maximum 15 minutes. Kindly cooperate with us because we have to complete by 1 p.m. sharp. With these few words, I would like to request Dr. Chandrasekhar Praveen to share his thoughts. Dr. Chandrasekhar.
Good morning, respected moderator, Professor Raghu, esteemed panelists, dear participants. I would like to begin by thanking ICLSE for giving me this opportunity to address you all on this particular symposium come focus group discussion. I'll try to recall 4 years of teacher education with which I have associated myself with. I did my bachelor's degree in education in 1993 in a leading teacher training college in Trivandrum city. Okay, and the next decade, in the beginning, I got a job as a teacher educator in the collegiate education department in Kerala state. Then, in the beginning of this new millennium, soft skill was being talked about. But when I did my 1993 B.Ed, nobody ever mentioned life skills, but soft skills was mentioned. And some universities started offering soft skills training, and I also prepared modules for that. And several conferences in colleges of teacher education had one sub-theme, which is soft skills. Then what happened in the next decade is, before the next decade, the CBSE had started introducing life skills as a module. They prepared a module, and it was expected to be transacted in schools offering the CBSE curriculum. Then what happened in 2015 was, just before 2015, the National Council for Teacher Education brought out the Teacher Education Curriculum Framework. Remember? It has a catchy title, Towards a Humane Teacher. Okay? Now, I did my bachelor's education for 1 year. In 2015, the duration of the course was increased to 2 years. So more focus, more ICT, intensive training, and life skills was also part of it. There was not specifically mentioned, but life skills was to be introduced. Now remember, when somebody joins for the 2-year program after a bachelor's degree, that person is in the age group of 21 to 23. Boys, at least in Kerala, I can tell you, once you complete your degree, the neighbors, the community members, everyone asks, didn't you get a job so far? But for girls, the parents are very protective. They will allow them to complete a B.Ed because that's going to help her get a job, okay, a valid professional degree. So she is safe. So you look at the mindset of these two. Now they are responsible. They know they want to succeed in the profession they're going to choose. If it's towards a humane teacher, we should realize that soft skills trainers or life skills trainers should realize that it is not me, but we. From I to we. Okay, only then the teacher or the prospective teacher can show empathy, be empathetic to learners. So when I was asked to go and engage sessions in the workshop mode for life skills, I used to focus on self-awareness. That was my top priority. Then it became interpersonal skills. Because without that, you cannot show empathy to the learner. Then we move on to critical thinking and creative thinking and so on. I retired from service, here in Kerala, 56 is the retirement age. Then I was invited to a college to offer a session on life skills for 2 hours. Then I casually asked them, Madam, how is it possible? It's to be conducted in the workshop mode. Sir, this is just to fulfill the requirements of the syllabus. 2 hours. Then what did I do? I focused on those 3 important things. Then what happened later? They introduced the Integrated Teacher Education Program, ITEP, from 2023-24 October. So they advertised, NIT Calicut advertised, as they wanted only retired hands. I submitted an application, I was selected. Then when I go there, these are students who have just cleared a national level test and they are before me. What is the age group? 18 to 20, who have joined the integrated teacher education program. They have come to a reputed institute in the country, NIT Calicut. Why? It's a dual degree program. After 3 years, they can go BSc degree in physics, BSc degree in maths, or BSc degree in chemistry from the leading institute in the country. Career prospects are more. So majority of them have unfortunately a mindset to leave after 3 years. And there's an integrated teacher education. Those who stay back on the 4th year, you can have. So what is going to be the focus of a life skills trainer for these students? Can it be self-awareness? No. They want to succeed in life. For life skills you're offering, then your priority will have to change. Now, last 3 days, we have several discussions from several experts, and one of them did say, the jobs that are going to appear 10 years later, we don't know. Definitely, digital skills is required. But there are several other skills you have to focus on. So you see, integrating life skills in a teacher education program of 4 years duration with a dual degree program where the students have the right to leave, what should be the focus for life skills? And in the 2-year integrated focus training you're giving, what should be the focus on life skills? This has to be cogitated on, ruminated on, discussed. And just the previous session, we were all thinking of mapping the curriculum. And now the UGC also introduced Kaushal skills, which I mentioned. How are you going to do it? This has to be deeply discussed. I hope I've given you a fair background of what this is based on my experience, my perspective. It can differ from those who are here on the panel or yours. I'm free to answer any questions you pose. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sincere Praveen, for the brief and concise presentation. We'll have discussions later. Now, I would like to request Dr. Pramod Dinagar from Chinmaya University, is the head of education, to share his thoughts.
Respected moderator, Professor Raghu sir, fellow panelists. So, life skills in teacher education. So we have been discussing about life skills 3 days. Tremendous, discourses on life skills have happened. So now coming to teacher education. Why life skills for teachers? Why? So it's essence is a discussion, teachers are so-called what? Creators of tomorrow, destiny makers. The destiny of India is being shaped in our classrooms, just like the Kothari Commission has said. And again, NEP 2020 has come. So what does it say? We have to prepare our children for jobs that doesn't exist. And it also says that we have to be IR 4.0 ready. And they say that 80% of the jobs that are in vogue won't be existing, say, by 2030, 2035. So this is the future that our children are going to face. And who else can guide them? It is the teachers. And we cannot say that if you pursue a particular career path, you will reach a particular career. No, because the future itself is bleak. So that is the importance of life skills in teacher education. So let us just take a view on the status quo of this life skills component in pre-service teacher education. Be it the B.Ed programs, 2-year or 4-year or DLED programs. Life skills, this has been, this word often used, sometimes misused, many a time overused, but I am not sure whether it is effectively used. So this is there at all levels. If we analyze the school curriculum, from class 1, we can see that there is life skills component, life skills embedded into it. In teacher education also it is there. So if you analyze the curriculum of the different universities, you can see that there is a theory that you have to study, or there is a component on self-awareness, empathy, interpersonal relationship, critical thinking, effective communication, creative thinking, decision making, problem solving, coping with stress, coping with emotions. These are the core life skills suggested by World Health Organization. We will study that. But the teacher education curriculum just focuses on the theory, adaptive and positive behavior that will enable the people to deal with the challenges and requirements of daily life effectively. The student teachers will write and get marks. So, from class 1 to class 12, life skills is embedded already. We have modules for that. But have the mental state of our children improved? Have the delinquency rate come down? But we can see that more and more problems are still there. Why? Because when we analyze any concept, we have to take it at 4 levels. The knowledge level, the skill level, attitude level, of course, in an education context, the value level. The problem is, we have life skills at various levels, but it is still there in the knowledge level only. We know what is life skills. Although it is called life skill, which is something that should be practiced, life skills is often taught as lectures. So they know what is life skills, but they don't know how to apply it in real life. So this is the problem. And they learn these 10 life skills. What to do with it? Say, we had COVID. 2 years of our life were spent on washing hands. And we washed hands. But we were resilient enough to bounce back. This resilience is an outcome of what? Life skills. Soft skills, as we say, these are all life skills or outcomes of life skills. Career advancement or career orientation is an outcome of life skills. But these core things are not related. Again, there have been instances where people have talked about integrating life skills in the lesson plan or teaching manual, lesson template. But what we do, in the first 4 or 5 pages, we write all those different things, prerequisites, skills, etc. There we add life skills, nothing else. So our teachers, we are not able to integrate it properly. Why? Because life skills at all levels, especially in the teacher education level, as I told you, is just dealt with in the knowledge domain only. It is a competence. What is a competence? It has the essence of all the 3, knowledge, attitude and skills. But again, sadly speaking, the knowledge part only is concerned. So what is the way out? Real integration. And how come this real integration will happen? This will happen through, again, another term that I have taken from the NAP, experiential learning. So I will give you a real life instance. So 3 or 4 months, I have a daughter who is now 7.5 years, nearing 8 years. So recently she was talking to me and my wife, and she was telling that, and I was limping a bit. You are limping, and she was laughing. And she used the Malayalam word. You are like a mundi. Mundi means that person who doesn't have a leg or who has that damaged leg. And I am pretty sure that she got this word from the school, definitely. There is no point in sermonizing, daughter, don't say that. Again, when you say don't, it will embed in the mind as do it again. So, and although my wife said we should not be telling like that, they are all people like us. Recently, we had an opportunity. My wife is doing a course. As part of that course, we had to do an internship where she has to visit an institution. And she went to an institution where the rehabilitation of people who have this, beneath the waist, that paralyzed. They can't walk. They can't move. Some of them are not even able to move their hands also. So we took her also there. And I could see tears possible if we say that empathy is different from sympathy. Sympathy it doesn't have action. Empathy has action. Experiential learning. Go to the community. Go to the instances. Then feel it. Implement it. Impart it. So that should be the way forward. Again, now let me come to the area where I am teaching. So I am the head of the department which has an integrated 4-year program. So we are 4 years into the program. So we have our first batch of 4-year teacher graduates passing out this year. So this particular integrated teacher education program offers a scope for me the opportunity. Thank you, Martha Phyllis Training College and ICLSE. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Pramod, for your critical analysis of the situation. I hope questions will be there. Well, may I request Dr. Johnson from Alagappa University to share his thoughts on life skills and teacher education.
Very good afternoon to one and all present here. Today, this session is about the life skill education in teacher education. My profound thanks because of not for Dr. Radhakrishnan Iyer and Joju sir and Raghu sir, this event would not have taken place. In that too, discussing about the teacher education, life skills in teacher education, which is a pivotal role as a teacher. Understand what is life skill. It is more important because we will be an ambassadors and facilitators to the students' community. For that to happen in an effective way, some concepts the teachers need to digest over in a systematic and proper way, without having any overlapping, without having any chaos. The National Education Policy 2020 has given a clear-cut vision and mission of how to take over. Therefore, it is the teaching fraternity who are to take over the life skills, make them implement those life skills in a successful way. Therefore, the first thing they need to develop is that a flexibility in their curriculum. In Tamil Nadu, as Raghu sir has rightly pointed out, the Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University is that. What is the prime importance of bringing all the teacher education? Therefore, they will see over how the teacher education is functioning. They will give the affiliation. They will have a common developing the curriculum pertaining to the teacher education, monitoring the curriculum, and also they see over how the teacher education curriculum is taken over across all the affiliated colleges, that too in Tamil Nadu, coming under one umbrella. Therefore, the university going ahead with their own teacher education program. Other than the universities, all other affiliated colleges will come under the Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University exclusively for teacher education. Therefore, what are they doing over? How they need to implement this life skill education in the teacher education curriculum. For that to happen in an effective way, they need to first touch upon the curriculum, because without that, nothing magic is going to happen over. Unless otherwise, they need to include this life skill as an elective subject over in the curriculum. Non-major elective. As you all know, the university is free, the students are free to choose their NME paper. It has come over in all the universities also. Therefore, the students are supposed to choose their NME according to their own interest areas. Therefore, in that perspective, we need to include this life skill education as an elective subject, non-major elective subject in the curriculum. Next is that the case studies of different countries has to be highlighted over to the students. First, let me take up the Finland. It is the pioneer in the education, as we all know. The happy curriculum has been implemented over, and the students do rejoice over in their curriculum. How come, and what is the synergy which is taking them to come in successful colors? They are incorporating the life skills into their curriculum. We need to have a closer outlook of how the curriculum has been envisaged for them. I had an opportunity to meet the Finland faculty members. They are very much interested to do more research on life skills. They come over to India, see the setup of how the life skill education, which is predominantly existing already in the curriculum. And they are having a closer outlook of this, the education systems that they are taking over, especially the teacher education. Next is Singapore. They are following the 21st century competency framework. In Singapore, the 21st century competency framework is mainly emphasizing on skill education. And the third is South Korea, which is mainly stressing on the PBL, that is the problem-based learning. How to make the students to overcome their problems. Whatever problems, what are the strategies, what are the approaches they need to assign to overcome the problems. Therefore, an international perspective of life skill education in teacher education has to be understood. And then coming over to the life skill education in teacher education, that too in Tamil Nadu, as Sarah said over, you will be able to give out what is happening over in Tamil Nadu. In Tamil Nadu, the national education policy, we are not able to suppose they are not speaking of that because it is against. Understood? As people from Tamil Nadu, if they are there, they will agree with me. Likewise, we don't throw, we leave them in the village and they learn the kind of adaptability, adjustment with the people. This is all with respect to life skills. They learn to collaborate, they learn to live in a teamwork, they learn to understand the differences in different perspectives, and they develop the leadership qualities, creativity, the digital literacy, and at last they make the decision makers. They are become a good decision makers. They need to understand what is life is. That is what with respect to teacher education and life skills, teacher education, both are most important. Without life skill education, teacher education will not reach over an epitome of success. Therefore, this too has to be synergized properly and attenuated in the curriculum. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson, for presenting an analytical presentation of teacher education life skills in Tamil Nadu context. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. Now we are going to listen to a Sri Lankan experience. May I request Ms. Nireshika from Sri Lanka to share her experiences.
Good afternoon, honorable invited guests, fellow panelists, and all the participants. First of all, a good teacher is like a candle. It conceives itself to light the way for others. I will not be standing here and talking to you without the hard work and effort from my teachers, starting from my pre-primary. I consider that good teacher can change anything. A good teacher can change anyone. I consider my guru as my founder of the Emotional Intelligence Life Skill Training Team, Mr. Prasad Jayasinghe. He's the one who brought me up to the standard, like talking to you in this stage. Okay. Okay. In Sri Lankan context, like 80 years before, the teacher education was initially started in prevent education. The monks were responsible for teaching. Now, I believe that still it is better than this modern formal education system, because they are enriched with many life skills more than the teachers modern times. In Sri Lankan context, the current teacher education institutes are National Colleges of Education, teacher training colleges, and private institutions. Taken as a whole, all through this teacher education system, child psychology, educational psychology is addressed, but life skills education is not that much touched, or most likely tend to be ignored. Most tend to be ignored. So, why the teacher should be the expert in life skills? I give you one of my personal experiences. First, in last year, I worked as a preschool teacher in same branch, different branch of the same school. At sudden, I had to replace another teacher of the other branch, because there was a complaint from parents that the teacher is not good. The teacher doesn't love the children. I went to the classroom and I accepted the responsibility. When I deeply analyzed, I realized that the former teacher had the personal struggle. The thing was, that teacher wasn't competent enough to understand that she has a problem, that she's reflecting that problem into the children. The children, basically, so that the children feel not safe. They are not being loved. They are not being understood. So that's why the parents complain. So the teacher, first of all, should be a master of their own emotions and life skills. Otherwise, how can they teach the children life skills? Also, another personal experience. This is the child is not in my class, but I interact with the other classes children also. These children, the other side, very mischievous, very adamant, don't listen to anyone. This child, one day after the school is over, they are playing in the playground, comes to my class and asks the other children to come inside. Other children say, no, we can't come. This child says, no, this teacher loves me. She doesn't blame me. The children, the teacher should have empathy and have the ability to understand what the child needs. That child understand that I am not looking at him the same way others they look at him. That's why the child feels safe, loved. That is that's why I am emphasizing that teacher should be an expert in life skills. Okay. In current teacher education system, I think I already mentioned that there's no concern for life skills education, but there's an utmost need to include life skill education to the teacher education system. When I am schooling, we had the subject called life skills, but it's not utmost failure, because even students were confused and teachers were so confused what to do. In the new curriculum, there's a subject called civic education, but it's just theory based. There's a reasonable doubt that the teachers don't have qualified. They are not qualified to teach that subject. So how could the teacher teach a life skills subject without knowing what is life skills? So that's going to be utmost failure. Just that subject is basically for the exam purpose. So these need to be addressed in teacher education systems, and also that primary, secondary and tertiary, all these teachers should be provided proper life skills training, anyway as a separate subject or like follow-up sessions like that, to ensure that that they are competent enough to teach children and create emotionally, socially as well as academically capable citizens. So to end up my presentation, I'm going to end up like this. Good education can change anyone. A good teacher can change anything. Thank you.
Thank you, Niroshika, for sharing the experience. Now, I would like to request Professor Jojo John, Principal of the college, with not less than 20 years of experience in the field of teacher education. So, he'll be sharing his experiences plus insights, I believe, related to life skills and teacher education.
Thank you friends. Warm welcome to my short address. I just want to tell you 4 anecdotes and a few sentences. Okay, anecdote number 1. One of my students named Josna went for teaching practice in one of our schools. On day 1, she looked at a child from the 3rd bench, first student. Get up and read from the first paragraph, page 20. The child just stared at Josna, did not read. Took the text but stood up, did not read. Josna said once again, please read para 1, page 20. The child was just staring at Josna. Josna smiled at her and prompted one again, please read the para 1 of page 20. She was just staring at Josna. Josna smiled at her and said, sit down. Next, story number 1. Story number 2. I saw the kindergarten training of Japan. Okay, they are mimicking buses in the classroom. All the students in a line moving like a bus. Then somebody, a physically handicapped, or many problems about these things. The teacher made the child sit on the floor for half an hour. And something really funny about psychopaths. Behind every psychopath, either a cruel mother or a cruel father or, answer me, a cruel teacher. And many a time, the teacher happens to be the cause of psychopathy. So we have got psychology experts here. Now, dear friends, in coming back to who will solve the problem? The teacher has to solve the problem. The teacher has to change. If the teacher has to change, teacher education has to take a U-turn. Now what is happening? Many theories are being learned by student teachers. Okay, maybe starting from the first education commission to the second education commission, the British education commissions, all these things students are learning. And all the psychology theories, we are trying to learn all the psychological theories. These are good, not bad. But at the end, we wouldn't be able to give training in communicative English. We wouldn't be able to training in technology. Okay, we wouldn't be helping them to train themselves in soft skills, life skills, such things. We wouldn't get enough time. Actually, all the important milestones of the history of education, just give 2-3 milestones only. Then focus on NEP 2020. That would be better. And with regard to psychological schools, starting from behaviorism, everything. No need to learn all those names and all the theories and all those funny experiments. Most of them were approved by the next levels of psychological development. Many theories were proven wrong subsequently. Okay, behaviorism, it doesn't work everywhere. Only in some language development behaviorism works, repetition works, because we need not repeat everything. We can learn things if it is significant in one go. Need not repeat everything. Only habit formation things have to be repeated. So give all the rules as simple rules. Then focus only on the most current and critical theories. And focus on skill building and life skills, all these things. What happens in schools when student teacher goes to school? Do you know what happens? The teacher would call that particular child. Then the teacher would do 2-3 things. Teacher would ask him, you are given 2 chapters only, but teach 5. Teach 5. You are given 2 chapters, 40 lessons. But teach 5 chapters. No formalities of B.Ed. No PPT, no teaching aid, nothing like that. Just teach them so that they can write the exam. Prepare them for the exam. This is the pressure that a student teacher is getting from the schools. So when teacher educators pop up, immediately the student collects all the lesson plans, all those things, and they are pressurized to do like that. If teacher education has to change, there should be a mechanism to combine SCRT and teacher education. But these two are run by 2 agencies, and there is little communication between these two. That is what I was also suggesting to the SCRT director, to call at least one online meeting every month for teacher educators, so that they can tell us what is happening in schools. Now currently these two are 2 worlds without a bridge. One is the other side of the river, the other is to this side of the river, and there is no bridge at all. So what I would like to, from my own experience of teaching students for the last 21 years in different fields, and my own experience as a life skill trainer for the last 33 years, I feel that this current teacher education system has to take a U-turn towards skill building rather than memorizing theories. Now we need to give ounces of theory and practice. That is, otherwise teacher would be reading tortoise only, and the student will be telling tortoise, and the teacher would correct, no, tortoise, like that. Student would be doing a disservice to the teachers, would be doing a disservice, opposite of what is expected of them. Actually, people who are coming for teacher education are the best now. There was a time in my teacher education journey, I found that best brains are going for medicine and engineering. There was a time like that, but now we see that best brains are also picking up commerce, physics, chemistry, and they are coming for teacher education as well, thanks to UGC for the better salary and all the facilities given for these college teachers. But at the end of all the formation, okay, this student teacher, is he motivated enough to practice more, or is he fed up at the end of 4 semesters, plenty of theories, nothing practical, and I am fed up with teaching. Such a scenario, if it is there, we have to check it and we have to do something about it. So, continuous monitoring of teachers and teacher education is essential, and only a teacher who has got life skills would be able to train life skills in the students. I have a psychology teacher. I had a psychology teacher, very good teacher, and she gave 3 talks on reinforcement without even smiling once. Without smiling once, 3 big talks on positive reinforcement. Okay. So, such a pathetic state of affairs we are having, so we need to practice more. We cannot blame that teacher because she did not get the correct training in her B.Ed classes. That's a problem. So, who will bell the cat? Who will bell the cat? It has to begin with the teachers and teacher education. That is my piece. I would like good luck to all of you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So thank you, Dr. Joju John, for presenting the thoughts in a different way. Thank you very much for the analytical situation. Well, we have been discussing, we have been listening to the experts. They focused on life skills in teacher education system. What is happening in our country? They have given their own personal experiences. In India, we have got not less than 6.5 lakh villages. Imagine the number. Not less than 15 lakh schools at present, with 200 million students. Remember the number, 200 million students. Just imagine the huge quantity. And you have to train 95 lakh of teachers. Just imagine the number. Have you ever thought about it? We sitting in a hall, we think about life skills, we think about teacher education curriculum. We never think about the depth of the problem. We face a lot of problems. We are the 5th largest economy in the world. It is reported by the World Bank and the World Economic Forum that by 2020 we will be the 3rd largest economy in the world. That is one side of the coin. And this is the reality, cross-section of India. How we are going to address these needs? A lot of issues were highlighted by my colleagues. How we are going to address this scenario? Well, now the house is open. You can raise your observations, questions, and even answers. Please, we start with Professor Sheshadri, who was the director of NIMHANS Bangalore. Please, sir. You are welcome.
This is just a very small observation, my friends. Recently, in Delhi, about 6 weeks or 2 months ago, the Life Skills Collaborative, it's another initiative in India. It's called the Life Skills Collaborative, had held a conference, and they asked me to be on a panel, and the title of the panel was, "How can I teach what I do not know?" The matter that I place for your attention and the attention of this august panel is this. There are issues that a teacher has to attend to within the framework of life skills, which on 3 dimensions, a conviction dimension, a commitment dimension, and a comfort dimension. Let me give you an example. If you take the whole issue of child abuse and you look at recognition or intervention for child abuse, particularly sexual abuse, and if a teacher tells me this does not exist in India, this is a Western grafted phenomena, our culture in our populations are not like this. At a conviction level itself, if there is resistance to an idea, then I do not expect that the teacher, so that's a conviction issue. The commitment dimension is, I recognize this is an issue, but I trained to be a teacher because I love teaching math. I'm really not, this is really not my, other people can do it. You know, this is not something that I can commit to. The comfort dimension is, I recognize these are problems. I would like to do something, but these are areas which are very uncomfortable for me. And when a teacher himself or herself may not have resolved or reconciled their personal histories, for them to come to a classroom where the whole nature of the relationship between a pedagogue and a scholar is not based on a culture of conversations, but on a culture of instruction, expectation, control, and obedience. This is a bottleneck or an obstacle that has to be addressed before we really get into core content. So it was just an observation that I wanted to make to, essentially reconcile the fantastic ideas that the panel has expressed. That there is content, there is methodology, but the school as an ecosystem, its admin and the teacher community has to essentially embrace the idea of life skills as something that is as important as numeracy and literacy and livelihood and careers and all of that, to make a place for this in school, not as something that is extracurricular, or when a teacher is absent, we will do a session, but to embrace it as part of the mainstream. So that was just the observation that I wanted to make. Thank you for the opportunity to say some things.
Some of their queries we can also answer. Yes, there was some more question?
So I'm having two questions. So first, I'm teaching at Gate College where it is a 2-year course. So in the integrated mode, whether you are doing this life skill as a then curriculum or as a separate curriculum and the timetable gives the permission to do that in a through a subject mode or through the separate mode. That is my first question. First, give me answer, then I will ask the second one.
See, it can vary from college to college and the teacher who is going to do it. Let me tell you, I'll give you two instances. I've done both. There was a funding from the Collegiate Education Department asking us to do it, a life skills program. What we did was, we did it for 3 weeks, not 1 or 2 days. I've also done life skill sessions for 3 days in the workshop mode. What's the difference there? In the 3-week program, each day there is a task where they have to do it collaboratively, practicing all the life skills, at least some of them. But in the 3-day workshop mode, what happens is, it's integration, but then at the time is as a premium, so only a few aspects can be done. When you have a 2-week or 3-week program, so many things can be given. Even during weekends we can do it. The next day when you come, watch it. We'll send them video clips on which they can cogitate on, come up with perspectives for discussions. So it can be arranged in any way. In addition to that, if time is a premium, another thing would, the teacher who teaches a particular subject based on the mapping for a particular content, how can I introduce this life skills? For instance, I saw the Macmillan textbook. After the NEP 2023 curriculum framework came up, they redesigned the textbooks. For every story, because language is always taught through stories, they've identified one critical thinking or one personal skill, because characters are there, so personal skills come, interpersonal skills come, critical thinking comes. So it's always possible, even in the classroom, when they prepare the lesson plan, to identify and focus on these life skills. So the options are open, depending on the time and your conviction, as said. Thank you.
No, it's very interesting that reference was made to Macmillan, because that book is written by me. No, but let me look at the business strategy. These guys do, this is the second revision. It was from grade 3 to grade 9, now it's from grade 2 to grade 10. Every book now has a small thing on the cover saying compliant with NEP. These are all sales strategies that. So the series is called On Track. It's called On Track, and these are workbooks that every child can actually use, and it becomes kind of an almanac of their journey. So, you know, when they are 25 years old, they can pull it out to see what was the journey of my life. I'm not telling you this because, what's the word when an author gets, yeah, what is that called? I'm not because I have royalty from the sales of the book. It's that deal is I didn't sign a royalty deal, but it's it's an one more. No, it's not coming. It's an interesting deal. The whole text of how you use a workbook methodology with a lot of art and the children actually working on a text. It's one of the methodologies that one can use. Please.
So you're asking about how can we integrate it in a 4-year. So we have 2 reference materials already. One is called the ITEP curriculum framework. It has already come and it is there in the public domain. So it will give a guide of the different courses that the NCT expects. So we can have a 30%, each university can have a up to 30% of deviation from the expected curriculum framework. That is one, that is a generic one. Then as per the new NEP, we have preparatory stage, foundation stage, middle school stage and the secondary stage. So the NCT has come up with teacher education or ITEP framework for all these different levels. Although some of them are in draft stage, it is available in the public domain. So it gives you that opportunity, and I can tell you one thing, that it suggests life skills can be incorporated in what all courses that are possible. So that is what they say. And then in our university, what we do is, we broadly divide the whole activities that a student teacher is expected to do into 3. One is the college related activities, the school related activities, and the community related activities. All the community related activities are mapped to life skills. And the non-academic activities of the school level activities are also mapped to life skills. So this is something that we do. Then we have something called a generic elective. In the what is that UGC terminology, we have core subjects, discipline electives, generic elective. So generic elective is the modern name, as NEP name is multidisciplinary course. The NEP suggests, the curriculum framework suggests multidisciplinary. So we offer this life skills as an exclusive course and also as an embedded course in in other subjects like psychology. Say 1 or 2 modules are related to practical aspects of life skills implementation. Hope I have answered you. Thank you.
No doubt that teacher is a better coach. Why schools? Parents can teach. Why do we need schools? Parents can teach. Education system evolved in such a way that, one, it should not be haphazardly done. It should be done in a scientific manner. Ready? Point number 1. Point number 2, it should be done by a trained person. That particular person, it should be very trained. Can we afford to ask my father or mother to do a small surgery on me? No. It's risky. Only a trained person can do that. So is the case with, what about molding the thoughts, vision, mindset, all, everything of a child? Isn't it more important than having a small surgery? It's more important than having a physical surgery. So trained persons have to do it, and they have to be trained well. Life would teach many lessons, but teacher ensures that every child gets it. I am a teacher educator. My wife is also a teacher educator, but the teacher is doing more work than both of us. We are blessed with 4 kids, but they don't obey us perfectly. With NEP, we are going to have specialization. What about the pre-primary level of children and formation? Some people have to specialize there. Let them do that work. Actually, it is more important than guiding a PhD. Then the primary level teachers, let them get specific train on the primary school. So these things have to be done with the specialized knowledge. The general type of knowledge and awareness, that age is gone. Nobody wants an MBBS doctor. Everybody wants a specialist. So also in education, we need specialists, and teacher is definitely a better coach.
I have a different opinion on this. How about a teacher who uses life? That is, you look at the immediacy of life as a precept. So teaching can be very conceptual, or teaching can be very life experience based. Just to give you a simple example, when I teach people therapy work, we initially do a session before I unleash some of these trainee therapists onto the unsuspecting public and clients. We do something known as a helpful responses questionnaire. It's a written exercise. So it's a VNet. A woman comes and says, my husband came home last night, he was very drunk, he hit me, broke the television, said I didn't know what to do. If you wanted to be helpful, what would you say? And so people write that I will try to be reassuring. So then I say as a trainer that I'm not asking you what your intention is. Your intention to be reassuring is important and significant. What will you say? And that's where you get into real life. And it's very interesting because people write, did you do anything to provoke him? Now that's not helpful. Or you should not tolerate it, go away to your mother's house. Whereas if you to say, that must have been very difficult. Is everything all right now? How are you feeling? So there's a depth of reflection that. So it's not whether life is a better teacher or whether a teacher is a better teacher. It's how much a teacher actually uses the realities of life around you. So that's why, as I always am, methodology and process paradigm in life skills education. In a given session, what is my intent? What kind of content diversification do I do? What method do I use? Films, role play, art, narrative work, small group work, and then how do I process it with children? And then how do I meta-process it for then applying in life and coming back into the next session that this is what I tried, it worked, this has made a lot of difference in how I feel in my real life and so on.
Yes. Last question, please. So there is strategic difference, depth of difference between training and education. You are not supposed to train a teacher. You are supposed to enhance the capacity of the teacher, enhance the skills of the teacher. Everybody will have some capacity. You are not creating capacity. How you have to see the scenario. Well, the rest will be answered by somebody else. And now, coming to the scenario, we have been discussing about life skills and teacher education. Years back there was a concept called population education, in education, educational scenario, school education. They put it as a part of the curriculum. What happened? The spirit of population education was lost. It was only a question in a question paper. Nobody knows what it is. It is only a question paper, that's all. Answer the following questions. The spirit is lost. Like that, if you make life skills a part of the curriculum, what will happen? You can imagine what will happen. There will be only questions. No skills will be shared. Now, when I was a schoolboy, in a different fashion, some 30 questions are given. Answer all the questions. You are given only 2 hours. When I became a pre-degree, at that time it was pre-degree, now it is +2. 40 questions are given. Answer any 30 questions. When I became a PG student, there are 4 parts in the question. Answer 2 questions from every part. And now I have seen certain examinations. You are given a question paper. Thank you for participating in the examination. This is how our examination system is, they call it revolution. Recently I met one of my colleague from Russia, who was my teacher also in teaching Russian when I was a research scholar years back. They say they give 5 credit to the student. They said 5 credits to the student. If you participate in the examination, you are given 1 credit. If you answer some questions, you are given 2 credits. The rest, he didn't answer. No, the system is changing day by day. What is the meaning of evaluation? How it is being evaluated? So life skills is a very sensitive area. You focus on the skills. You are teaching swimming in a classroom. If you want to teach swimming, you have to put the boy or girl in the swimming pool or a river. Swimming in a river pool swimming pool is different. Swimming in a sea water is different. Swimming in a village talab is different. Swimming in a river is different. The structure of water, the flow of water is different. When you teach life skill, are you teaching the real skill? He raised a very fundamental question. I don't know the subject, but I am going to teach. This is what is happening. So please don't repeat the question and confuse us. So this is really what is happening. Anyhow, the discussion has raised certain basic points, which we actually appreciate. We enjoy that. Anyhow, anybody would like to answer the second part of her question? Please come over here. And after that, I will request the person for vote of thanks. Please.
So in Alagappa University, Tamil Nadu, they are giving a PG course, sister. PG course. PG course is life skill PG. PG course on life skills. Now what sister said is, I do agree with Reverend Sister. And you are a very active social activist. And all the teachers do need some training in conducting social activities. Now, from the personal ideas and vision of the teacher, they are conducting some visits, such social extension programs only. We need to make it more scientific, and people need to be trained. So all the teachers should be given some training in doing social activities in a scientific manner. That's what I feel about that. Thank you.
Well, now we are coming to the last lap of the program. After lunch, maybe a quick lunch, we have to assemble for the valedictory. Central Ministry is coming. We are supposed to start the program by 2 o'clock. We request your wholehearted participation in the program. Now, vote of thanks.
Before that, I request Regu sir to hand over the mementos to our efficient speakers. First, Chandrasekhar sir. Johnson sir. Pramod sir. Niroshika ma'am. Now I invite Betsy for official vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Respected dignitaries on the dais and all who have gathered here. It has been such an honor to be part of this informative session. On behalf of the organization of ICLSE, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who have gathered here. First of all, let me thank moderator, Professor Dr. V. Regu sir, for your kind words and coordination. Next, let me thank Speaker Dr. Rajashekar Praveen sir, Faculty of ITEP, NIT Calicut. Thank you so much, sir. Next, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Dr. N. Johnson sir, HOD of Lifelong Learning, Alagappa University. Thank you, sir. Next, let me thank Dr. Pramod Dinagar, General Secretary of CTF Kerala, Head of School of EGCS. Thank you, sir. Next, let me thank Ms. Niroshika Karavedinia, Preschool Teacher, Council of Emotional Intelligence. Thank you, ma'am. So, next, I would like to express my gratitude towards our principal, Dr. Joju, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Last, I would like to thank Dr. Nina Thomas for her coordination. Thank you, ma'am. That's all. Thank you.
Dear friends, have lunch fast, and immediately after the lunch, buses would be plying to the hall, and we can use the bus service, and we have to reach there before 1:45. Thank you.